2020. Recommendation, the Committee of the Whole meeting agenda for May 13th, 2026 be approved as circulated. Councillor Rich, Councillor Bushell, all in favor, and that's carried. Thank you. Adoption of the minutes, recommendation of the minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting held on April 22nd, 2026 be adopted. Councillor McCabe, Councillor Beach, all in favor. Carried, thank you. And we go right into our delegations. So we've got our RCMP fourth quarter report. Sergeant Murray, take it away.
Their report.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll begin with speaking about our traffic stats for the fourth quarter. They were lower than they were the previous 2 years. January we had 32, February 39, and March only 23, so a total of 94, just under 100. You see previously in the past year we had quite a bit more than that, 172. We're kind of closer to where we were back in 2023 where we had 159, but numbers were down. We had 5 members working, resulted in an average of about 6 stats. Remember, the target that we set is 10, so we didn't meet the target on that. So we'll have to, with the better weather and more traffic, more volume on the roads, especially with May long weekend coming, there'll be more stats coming for certain. IRPs, those are the immediate roadside prohibitions, impaired drivers, 24-hour suspensions. We had good numbers there. January we had 2, February 1, and again 2 in March for a total of 5. That's keeping in line with what we had historically been in the community. You see back to 2023, we had 6. Last 2 years, 25 and 24, our numbers were super elevated. We had a member here that was really, he made the Alexa team. So he was very focused on detecting impaired drivers and removing them from the road. So we made that one of his primary focuses. And he alone had the majority of those. So that's where the inflated numbers in 25, 24. But this past week alone, Landon, I think we had 4 of them. So there was, I did a media release on that. There was unfortunately some drinking and driving going on, and we were dealing with that. Moving to collisions, we did have a fatal collision on Highway 97 back in February. That's when we had that small amount of snow. I think I spoke about it in my last meeting here. And there was a southbound sedan that lost control, crossed into the northbound lane, and was struck by a semi-truck. Fatality there for a 22-year-old young woman from Salmon. The mechanical condition of the vehicle was good. Tires were good. It was just a driver error combined with the road conditions of the day. Break and enters, we didn't have any real serious break and enters. This is kind of an annoying one. Back in January, there was a window broken at the Malacqua school where the food bank is used, where they store the food there. Someone helped themselves to the dry storage port there. We were speaking with management of the food bank, and anybody who's truly in need of food, they're going to help out. So someone helped themselves to it, took more than their share. There were no suspects identified. But that was the only break and enter we had for the quarter. Theft of vehicles, we had some interesting things take place. Back in January 2026, we had a work truck taken from a yard on Finlayson Street. And there had been a key left in the vicinity of that truck. This person entered the yard, took the truck, and it was recovered the next day in Kamloops. They used fingerprint analysis on the truck and identified what we call a prolific offender, someone who's very prolific at stealing trucks. He was identified, a 31-year-old man, and then Kamloops pursued the charge against him on that. February 9th, we had a resident of Sick Moose try to help out a friend, and that good deed went punished. They were going to give that friend a drive to Salmon Arm, and that person just took the vehicle from them. Well, it was idling outside of their residence. So that vehicle was later recovered in Kamloops, and no charges were pursued on that. And then in March, we had a Nissan car stolen from a residential parking on Main Street overnight, and it was recovered at Barrier the next day. There was a interesting dog track on that one, and they did arrest a suspect on that case as well. So the next slide kind of just shows our numbers, 2026 as compared to 2025. I highlighted that the file count was down, so we had less calls for service this year, considerably less, but just over 100 less than we had the previous year. The rest of the numbers on the page, they're, nothing really jumps off too much. We had more assault calls, but nothing too awfully serious to mention there. Resources, we had a constable transfer to Seminar, so that member has left, and we have myself, the corporal, and 3 constables here, including Constable Kilburn. So we have a vacancy. Staffing is looking to find someone for me. I had a lead on a member that I was trying to get out of the Lower Mainland, and the superintendent there didn't want to release that member. He had only been in that detachment for a couple of years, so that wasn't a priority. And then that member was transferred to another detachment that had more pressing issues. So we may end up getting a recruit. We may luck out and get an experienced member, but it may be a recruit. The last member we had was a recruit, so could have that again. We'll see. And files of note, January 1st, we had a man who was arrested, charged with uttering threats, disturbance on Spruce Street. That was kind of a problem residence for us for a little while there on Spruce Street, and that file was associated to that. The man was later pled guilty to that offense, received probation, and left the community. So he's in Kelowna now and not causing us any issues, which is good. January 4th, we had a domestic situation. There was charges there, assault with a weapon. And then the members went into the residence and found some insecure firearms unrelated to that incident, but they were there, so they were seized as well in that disturbance. January 7th, we had a man that was assaulted at his residence by another man who was known to him, and a 44-year-old man from town was charged with assault in that. January 25th, we had a speeding motorist on Highway 1. The occupants were arrested and a search was done in the vehicle. There was consider a small amount of methamphetamine was seized from that. And then March 25th, a Seminar man was charged with prohibited driving after being found speeding excessively between Sycamoose and Seminar. On a motorcycle, no less. I should mention, I was talking with one of the councillors yesterday, Councillor Rich, and it was about these electric dirt bikes. So weather's turned, we're starting to get complaints about this. I went over and talked to the principal of the school yesterday. There was three of them leading up into the school. The bikes themselves are illegal to be on the road. So what is legal are e-bikes that go below 32 kilometers an hour and have pedals, like functioning pedals. The electric gears and motor is to assist with the rider with the pedaling. So these dirt bikes are not like that. They can go with speeds well above 32 kilometers an hour. Some of them hit speeds of like 90 kilometers an hour. They're not road legal. They don't have insurance. The kids riding these don't have driver's licenses, obviously. And I had a lady come in the detachment yesterday complaining about one of them actually being operated on Highway 97. So I was asking the principal if the district has any policy about these people showing up to school, and he said there isn't. He's going to inquire within district with that. We've talked to some parents of the kids that own these bikes, and not getting instances that we did speak with them. We weren't getting some positive feedback. Like some of these parents are okay with them. They purchased them, obviously, and they're okay with the kids having these things. So it's a problem we're going to have to deal with. I'm going to talk to my colleagues. Like this is Revelstoke, Salmon Arm, everywhere these found. And what's happened is, eventually there's going to be someone hurt if these cities are going to be operating, especially the highway, Highway 97, and then it's going to go from there. So the ticket that the police can use to enforce it is no insurance. You could write the driver for no driver's license if he's on the road. So it is illegal. You can't just hop on one of these high-powered e-bikes and go down the road. No one seems to think that they could do that with a gas-powered dirt bike, but when you throw in the electric engine, there's a portion of the population that's okay, it's okay because it's electric. Well, you wouldn't let your kid go down on
Yeah.
125 per bike, but as far as the motor vehicle act is concerned, there's no real difference.
Okay.
Boats in the lake.
Oh, that's on my list. That's on my list.
Have you been here before?
Day, we were almost gonna head up the back of the Seymour arm, but fortunately we didn't have to. It is in the lake, had it serviced, both engines are good. We did the spring maintenance on it, so it's all good to go for May long.
Perfect. Good to hear.
Well, Andrew McLean, the second in charge of the task, I just sent him to Tofino, so he is now got his captain's ticket. He can now operate the boat, so there's 3 of us, including myself, that can operate the boat on the lake.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you, Murray. Council, any questions? Council Rich?
Yeah, again, thank you, Murray, for everything you do. Meet Brent Jennings, School District 83 representative. So anything, I think we need to collaborate between schools and stuff. I think Brent's going to step up for us. Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot, but glad you're here. Is there, with the e-bikes again, and you and I have chatted about them, we also have the e-scooters. We've got so much power under these kids. And of course, we don't let them out in cars because their brain cells aren't developed. But it's 100% true that you don't get your license till you're 18. You don't get a full license. Is there anything council like, and I understand it's provincial and I know that the technology is coming faster than the laws are. Is there something we can do? Because honestly it is. And I mean, the other day I was on line looking at like hospital accidents and like we're losing kids over this. Like kids are like, and not just being hit by cars, but they're falling off backwards and brain injuries and stuff. So is there something we should be doing as a district to kind of help with this?
I'm not sure about district bylaws in that aspect. I did hear that there was some communities in the Okanagan that were experiencing more injuries related to that, you know, because some of these communities have the rental ones where you can rent the lines. And, you know, that's a whole different issue too, whether the communities are going to allow that to happen. These scooters that don't have pedals on them, they're still legal, like they're the electric scooters, and some of them go quite fast. There's one at the school I saw that had larger wheels on it, and I'm sure it can go about 30 kilometers an hour, but that would still be legal as long as it's, you know, being driven on the side of the road and not down the sidewalk. So yeah, it makes it tough for us because it's new and evolving, and you know, like it's very simple in the motor vehicle. Like you wear your helmet when you're on a bicycle, or when you're on a motorcycle, and then these e-scooters, like you should be wearing a helmet because they go fast. Like, and if you fall off, you're going to be hurt.
Yeah, 100%. So maybe we can meet with you and look at, because we can make a Sycamus bylaw, and that, you know, again, you're not patrolling our bylaws also, because again, they move fast, and the kids they're kids. That's why we don't give them driver's licenses. So why we would put them on something that does 30 or 50 or 90 is beyond me.
Yeah.
So maybe we can look at that.
My kids have electric scooters, but they don't go over 30 kilometers an hour. They go quite slow. Like you know, you have limiters on them, and I got younger kids, but yeah, they still want them too. Like,
Yeah. So yeah, legally, the district has really no jurisdiction over that. I mean, we could do some communications with you as well. Staff can put together some stuff like that. But why wouldn't we advocate for parents' responsibilities? Like, let's not blame the kid here, because parents that are not taking you seriously, or, you know, not taking the fact that they're putting their child in danger. It's their responsibility to make sure that child is safe. If they're putting the child in danger, is there nothing that we can go back or legally can go back to the parent saying, you're not doing your job as a parent?
well, there's always actions we can take. Like we can, we know that there's a specific person that's riding this bike. We can watch for that bike, you know, try to pull it over. If it doesn't stop for us, we know where that person lives. We can go and issue a ticket on, you know, for any offenses I just said, no driver's license, no insurance, all of those things, whatever other traffic offenses were happening. Obviously, that's not going to be popular if the police are writing 15-year-old kids tickets, because those tickets to a 15-year-old kid, it is going to haunt them. Like when it's, it's just 17 and they want a driver's license, ICBC is gonna say, oh, well, in 2026, you got a ticket for no driver's license. You're behind the eight ball immediately. Those tickets are gonna follow that person.
So maybe there is an opportunity here as council to advocate to the Attorney General that parents should be charged, not the kids. Sure, the kid has a flag on them, but I think that parents should be responsible. Maybe parents should be charged for
That's well above
our pay grade. Yeah, but I know, but I mean,
my pay.
we can start making noise about it and moving it forward because it is going to be a bigger problem, right? Councillor Bushel.
Yeah, through the chair. Murray, could you just confirm, like, they can't go over 30, okay? 32? And like, I've been on one and it was not mine, it was
Yeah. I'm asking for a friend.
I went from the dump to the bottom of the hill and back up to and that's a pretty steep hill. And I went up there, didn't pedal, because it has pedals on it.
Yes.
I didn't pedal and it went 70K. And then I went through the back and down through Bayview and back to my house and then back up. And I never pedaled the whole way, but it did have pedals on it. And he said it's totally legal as long as they don't go over 32K.
So I've got right here from what we call E-Division Media for the RCMP. What makes any dirt bike illegal for street use? E-bikes must be limited to 32 kilometers per hour. And some of these e-dirt bikes can travel up to 110 kilometers an hour. And e-bikes must not exceed 500 watts of power. Some of these e-dirt bikes have up to 22,000 watts of power. And e-bikes must have usable pedals. Most of the e-dirt bikes, and certainly the ones that I saw in high school, they don't have pedals. Like they don't need pedals. They've got lots of power. So.
Councillor. Oh, sorry.
Just closing, they put the pedals on, so they make them legal.
Gotta be functioning. Like you can't just put them on as decoration, like rabbit ears or something.
No, his were functional, but you don't have to use it. I'm trying to figure out how they can still get away with it in Edmonton.
Councillor Evans and Councillor Rich.
Yeah, and by BC law, they're required to wear a helmet if they're on a bike or a e-scooter, and they're actually supposed to be 16 years old to be able to ride an e-scooter, but a lot of these kids are, the powerful ones. Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Rich and Bianca.
Through the chair. So maybe, Daryl, we have an opportunity because we have our signs at the dog park and they're movable, I believe, the ones we got through a grant that give us, as you speed by, will they pick up a person? They might be fun downtown and going, how fast is your e-scooter going? And just making awareness that way. I know at the dog park, that's made a huge difference. The e-bikes are downtown, like they're in the tree streets, they're going to A&W to get a soda. That's where they're moving. I don't know if that's an opportunity, but it may be a good campaign sign and that people are aware actually, because without my speedometer, I don't know how fast I'm going, right? I look at my speedometer, then I know. So perhaps we can give a bit of grace and kids don't know they're doing 60 and almost killing an old lady. So I don't know if that's something, but we do have those, right, Daryl? And they do move quite easily?
They move. Yeah, I wouldn't say.
Quite easily?
Yeah.
They move.
Bianca?
I'm just looking from just a bylaw perspective. We do have our parks regulation bylaw that we could look at because right now, e-bikes and e-scooters are not included in it. We do talk about not being able to use snowmobiles, motorcycles within our parks, but bicycles right now is allowed. So just maybe doing something up in our
A little bit.
bylaw. Yeah. So we could staff
Have a look at
on that. Yeah.
Thank you. Other than that, Murray, it sounds like the community, it's good news for the community with your stats. That's all good. So thank you guys for all that you do and continue to do. It's
We'll stick around and listen to the.
perfect. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, Brent, you're up next. So this Brent Jennings is school division 83.
Two, which encompasses Sycamoose, Grimrod, and Ender. Much like your guys' term. We're up this year in election in the fall. Something I have to decide on whether I'm gonna carry on. But nonetheless, I'll just jump right into what Murray was talking about with the policy there, because I do sit on the policy committee. I can definitely bring that right to the top. It's a great topic. It's not just tons of rural schools in our district, so we can definitely look at what we need to do to get that moving for that for sure. Because kid safety. The toughest thing is going to be policing that and how we manage, right? It's going to take a district manager or a district member to do a tour of wherever the bike's parked and then find out who owns them and stuff like that. But we can definitely initiate and get that started. I don't really know what you guys had invited me here, so I just want to come and say hello and acknowledge that we are up for another election this year. We've had a lot of wins in the district this year, and we've had some not so good things happening. We've had lost some kids and had a lot of staff members have to move on and do other things. But we've also had fluctuations in our budget every year with our enrollment. Enrollment doesn't look like it's increasing over the next 3 years as well. So we'll be coming into some slight budget constraints again due to that. But we were able last year to free up some money at Christmas time to add some CEAs to the district. I'm not sure how many of those positions were actually filled and how that'll carry on to next year. But that's something that we're working on to try and help out. So I'm pretty sure you guys had some questions for me. That's why you invited me. So go ahead.
Thank you. I think one of the questions and concerns for us was the elementary school, it's at capacity. And what is School District 83? Is there a vision or any plans?
Right now is sitting at about 50% capacity.
Parkview's at 50% capacity.
We do fill some of the other classrooms with other programs in the community. I think there's a daycare, a strong site, strong start, stuff like that. But as far as actual capacity for the school, it's only sitting at about 50%.
Okay, that's fair then, because my understanding was that the school was being utilized, the whole facility, so there was no place to move anyone.
The reason we are utilizing it so that we aren't criticized for not utilizing it. So
Gotcha.
we have all these open rooms when we could have other programs to help the community. So
That's fair.
that's why we are filling those spots in the school. And Eagle River, we're sitting somewhere around 60%, give or take a little bit. So we have lots of room for increase. I know you guys have some different developments that are happening in the area as well.
Yeah.
So if those go ahead and they're successful of filling them with families that are coming to the area, or it might make it a little bit more lucrative at the price points for people to come to Sycamoose. Sycamoose has, as we know, it has lots of trials and tribulations and whatnot, but everybody works through it and we all work as a team and a big family to try and keep it safe forward. So that's what we do from schools to council.
Okay, no, that's perfect. I'm sorry, my understanding from the school was at capacity, so that's great, Kate. Thank you.
Yeah, and through the chair, I'll clarify that because we are at 240. And so the rooms are full. So then Strong Start's been there forever. So if we have to move something, that becomes an issue, right? So I think that's where the distinction is from, because those rooms are rented and where do we put the kids? It's great. Honestly, having more kids and then the more kids go into the high school. And then a question for you, Brent, is how do we advocate for more money per student within our school district?
That all comes from the ministry. That's a set point. We've written a number of letters. The board has over the last 3 years in regards to the funding amounts to see, and our hands are tied with I think it's 9,700 per somewhere in that neighborhood, 95 or 97 per student. The ministry does things that we don't always agree with, so we're handcuffed by that, and we try and fill all those gaps with grants and different programs, and we're able to get funding through. So we definitely look at all those, and we try and do our best to work with the Secretary Treasurer to manage budgets and have them directed to where it's going to be more beneficial for our kids.
Two, I'm going to say thank you for getting our playground in, and thank you, Daryl. That has been a labor of love, and we really appreciate you advocating for it. you've always, like, I don't know about anybody else. I reach out to Brent more than he probably cares to hear from me. But I am absolutely, and you always follow through. So I really appreciate it. So we've got another playground in. And the playgrounds now, there's no money provincially for playgrounds, ball pits, baseballs. There's nothing provincially. It's bottom line for schools. And we had this opportunity through the district, and the parents fundraised, the PAC fundraised, everybody pushed forward, and it's gorgeous. And the other thing is our school is open, so the gates aren't locked. So at the end of the day, parents can go in and take their kids, or if we have tourists in town in the summer, they're more than welcome to use that space. So it's super cool.
Playgrounds are kind of a sticky one because I find at the younger years, you want to make sure that they happen.
Yeah.
But every district is only allowed so much money per, and because of all the safety factors which you guys ran into, honestly, they install that thing and who can actually install them, the price of them is huge. So it does limit to what we can do. And then it's no fault of Sycamores with the reconfiguration. You know, that has definitely drawn a little bit of money out of the whole district budget. We've had a lot of concerns from parents and staff members due to that. I wish there was more we could do with it. The ministry just doesn't. I don't know if they don't prioritize, but they don't see all the little things that happen in these rural communities. But in saying that as well, often we think that we have major constraints here that were very, very hard done by. But if you look at some of the schools that are in the bigger centers, they've got a lot more headaches than we do. They have major overcrowding. They've got huge problems with buses. They have problems with security. They have all kinds of problems like that. So try and balance it out in my head and try and be positive about all of it and make do with what we have. I think that's a big lesson for everyone to have, because sometimes you always want more. What can we do now to make it better? Sometimes it takes parents like Councilor Schwab there. She does so much work for her. I wish I had more parents like you in other communities that would call me and not hassle, but
I'm sorry.
Try and get involved. And a lot of parents don't get involved in their PACs. They don't get involved in a lot of that stuff. And that's where it starts. And you have to work it out. My wife convinced me to take on this role. I have a very busy schedule as well. I work away in oil and gas. So this is my spare time, as we call it. Yeah, we do to try and make it a better place for the kids and try and add, add our input for.
Thank you. Murray, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but we were doing a program where you guys were spending a little bit of time in the schools, just doing some educational stuff, some drugs, maybe now there's some bike education that we could do. Is there still an opportunity for you guys to go into the schools and do that?
I can talk to Daryl about that. Going in and doing a teaching law class or something like that. Is that something you're interested in?
I think it's a great idea, and I think it's really great that the community, that our kids know who you guys, you're the safe people on the streets, and I think it's really important that they know who you are and they're comfortable too. So I think there's an opportunity there for the community and the kids to get to know, and maybe they won't be as busy on their bikes, or they'll understand what you're trying to do as well.
I'll talk to them about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the other bigger concerns, it kind of has to do with technology, is our cyber issues that we have. I mean, I'm sure everyone's seen all the things that come out on social media about different issues that have happened at some of the schools, the validity of them, how they're being dealt with. A lot of those things are huge concerns to a lot of parents, because someone can post something on social media. If it's a child that posts, is it true or not? We don't know. The parent gets involved. Now we've got another issue, right? Where did they get their story from? Who's telling the truth? And I mean, that's something that we all have to look at. I know we're planning on doing a bunch more cyber programs. We did a few, I think, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
What I find though, is that parents don't come out and join in unless they've been affected.
Yeah.
And that goes with a lot of things, right? People don't want to get involved with council unless they've been maybe affected by something that they could help fix, right? So for the most part, we just keep encouraging parents to try and join in and try and make people aware. And hopefully they'll join into these things, because there's a lot to learn from these, whether they're online or in person. And I think there's a lot of value to take out of all these meetings, and you know, you accept, like, a lot of people have a lot of different strengths, and we need to draw from those as well. We can't know everything. We're only as strong as, we say we're not the strongest person in here is all of us.
So, and maybe there's an opportunity for us to hook Jamie up with the schools as well, because Jamie runs spring programs and fall programs, and she does a lot of education stuff too. So maybe there's some space in there that Jamie could have someone in to do cyberbullying or some of those projects too. And you're right, we're as strong as our community. So maybe we can get all those links put together where.
Maybe what I can do as well is, when these programs come up, maybe we can share them with the city councils as well, so that they.
That would be wonderful. And then we can go from there. Yep.
Maybe we can work together with that as well.
Absolutely. That would be great. Counselor Beach.
Through the chair. Thanks, Brent. This brings back memories of being on PAC a long time ago. Lots of issues. I'm just wondering, do you you must have school events where the parents do come out, where you have, I mean, I remember that these things used to happen. I don't know what it's like anymore. No, there are no big school events where parents actually come to the gym and there you can have. No? Okay, I'm really dating myself, right? Okay.
Elementary schools.
Definitely.
I know the elementary schools still do little barbecues and do things here and there, and like back to school barbecues and things. They do springtime, they do play days and stuff like that, where parents come and volunteer and they have just a full on day with that. But yeah, it's definitely different than it was.
Okay, up to grade 6, right?
Yeah, depending on the school. Yeah. High schools, middle schools. I mean, I have a daughter goes to middle school and one that goes to Jackson as well. They have lots of things going on, but they're not really interactive. Not a lot are interactive.
Okay.
We try and do more. We're doing more as a board to try and have more open town hall meetings and try and invite more people in so that they can have some input and be aware. That's where we're at.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's hard because those are opportunities to educate parents if they come out for.
I think shy of dating ourselves too. I think everyone in here, when we were in elementary, we were in a very, very different culture. We had
true.
You could manage a life on a single income in a family, right?
Yeah.
And now you can't.
Yeah.
So I mean, that puts a lot of constraints on the families for these kids. Those all they filter down and often give more problems and issues for the RCMP as well. You know, the parents can't be everything. You know, most parents that I know, they want to make sure they have a roof over their head, kids have clothes, and they have food. That's their 3 main concerns, right?
Mm-hmm.
When a child comes home or they come home from work and it's late, the things that there's the days of sitting down and having family dinners are few and far between. They don't happen as much.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, all the schools in the district, we have our food programs now, which are gaining momentum. They're gaining momentum internally. Fortunately, the ministry is still supporting that financially as well. I'm hoping that never stops. I think that's very important. We'll just keep working on things. That's all we can do, right?
Perfect. Counselor Bushel, then Counselor Rich.
Yeah, Brent, I just wanted to thank you very much for going to bat for us this winter and attending both of those school trustee board meetings for the Eagle Valley Snowmobile Club and also the Allen Hyde funeral when they able in school to open up for a function. So thanks very much. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Counselor Rich.
Yeah, through the chair too. And just to Murray's in school tons. I think the police are very positive and part of community knows them. The kids know them. They're around. And same with Brent. He has been a huge advocate for us. So he does work away. But I think, we've got a new principal at the elementary school again, which is great. And we've, in the last year and a half, we've got 2 new principals at the high school. But Brent's been really involved in that. And again, it's community, right? It takes a village to raise these guys. And we're lucky to have you guys.
All right. Anyone else? Brent, thank you so much for taking your time out and working away and your family time to be here today. Thank you.
My schedule rarely allows me. Unfortunately, I take some extra time off to go to Whistler with the kids for dance.
Excellent. Great parenting. Way to go.
Thank you very much.
Perfect, thank you.
You guys are good.
Okay, thank you, Murray.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lennon. Okay, we're gonna go right to department updates. Nicole, take it away.
Okay, thank you through the chair. So this is the Development Services Quarterly Update, so January to March of this year. Building, little higher than last year, which I don't know if that was expected or not, because we had some big builds in the last few years. But if we look at the next page there, Bianca, yeah, thank you. There's a few good valued dwellings coming around. We had the Tim Hortons renovation at 814 Trans-Canada Highway. That was a higher value. And then some single family dwellings, Bayview and Hemlock still filling up those empty lots and adding some additional dwelling units. So nothing too exciting to report. I noted there was a bunch of water meter replacements, and I'm guessing that's probably something that's coming out of finance and their review of the billing and making sure all of those meters are working. So we got a handful of those for the first quarter. Building. Good.
That's it. Well, hey, welcome back. I'm glad you had a great trip. Council, do you have anything that you want to, building? It's great. I'm glad to see that we've got building and development continuing here. So it's, good. Okay. Thank you.
And then for bylaw, this is also the quarterly for January to March of this year. 32 new files created, and then about half of those have been closed. I think what we would want to note on this one is we're high in the business license enforcement this year. I don't know if you recall from last year, we had noted that a lot of businesses took a really long time to pay for their licenses last year and previous years. So this year we worked really hard to send out a bunch of notices and reminders about paying for 2026 business licenses. So we have a good handful of files that were wrapped up in March. And maybe Bianca might know the numbers better than I do at this point, but as far as I'm aware, everyone has paid for their business license for 2026. Maybe a few handful that are going to be opening for May Long in the summer that we waited for them. So heavy enforcement on business licensing, but otherwise nothing else.
Bylaw questions? Go ahead, Malcolm.
January to March.
Yeah, thank you through the chair. A while ago, we asked staff to start enforcing our bylaws. How's that going?
Through the chair, are you talking about like a specific topic? The shipping containers?
Are you talking unsightly premises? or-
Yeah, unsightly premises,
Call it out.
sea cans, that kind of thing.
Go ahead, Bianca.
So Dean did send out letters. I think there was close to 30 letters sent out. So those are all in process. So he gave a deadline for people to touch base with him, and then also to give a commitment for cleanup or getting rid of shipping containers and stuff like that. So that's all in process through our CAO.
Thank you.
And Councillor Bushel, Councillor Rich.
It's through the chair. Yeah, Bianca, I know Dean's not here and he sent the letters out or hand delivered them. I'm not sure. I've had quite a few calls from a lot of those folks that got CCAN letters, CCANs or cleanup. And is there I know and that's why I say our bylaw, our good neighbor bylaw doesn't really specify CCANs. And it doesn't just, be a good neighbor and make sure your place is clean. But in the rest of our bylaw, our general bylaw doesn't really focus on CCANs either. But we know, and I don't think we have a bylaw that says anything you're allowed to have a CCAN in industrial or commercial property. So is there, I know we talk about it, and I've asked Ian about having it on our planning meeting to go through that bylaw again and try to focus on where they're allowed and where they're not allowed. Like one of the gentlemen has property on the highway, but right across the street, there's 25 CCANs and they're zoned the same, right? And so I just wanted to know when the letters were given out, did it matter if they were industrial? Or did it matter if they're commercial or residential for the CCANs? Do you know?
So Dean will be addressing that when he's back, the zoning part of it, because to my knowledge, it didn't have to do with zoning, so those letters will be revisited. And then, yes, we have on the PDC next week, discussion of shipping containers. So that one's a bit of a to be continued.
Yeah, thank you.
And I just wanted, if I can, thank you through the
Yeah,
chair,
and then
just
Councillor
add
Rich.
to that conversation. Councillor Bushel, your question with regards to the good neighbor bylaw and CCANs not being specifically, we are reviewing other municipalities and other, to see how they're addressing in there. It is addressed in the zoning bylaw, but not in that, in the unsightly or in the good neighbor. So we're just looking at sort of what the norm is and, see if there's recommendations that we could bring back to council on that.
Thank you. Councillor Rich.
Yeah, through the chair. I just wanted to follow up on the outdoor burning bylaw. We don't have a whole lot going on there, but Kamloops has got us at a category 1, 2. So you're down, I think it's a 3 foot. I can't remember the centimeters because I'm 4 centimeters. Are we doing any social media, letting people know that we're already, I know today is not the day, but our community is so dry. It's not like and we always wait for, like, we have to provincially wait. And we've talked about this last year about, do we do a fire ban before we do a fire ban? And we had Lorenzo, last time we had this conversation. Is this something we should have a conversation about? Because again, today it's raining, but overall our community is so dry and it's so dangerous. And there are wildfires sparking up all over BC. So are we doing any kind of communication to the public of don't burn our community down?
Go ahead, Sean.
Thank you, good chair. Yes, we started our social media last week when the burning ban came out. And so communications put out through social media on our website. And I think our reader board out here also has information. And I think, yes, very good point on, we had started having the fire chief look at, is there something that we can do for our community specifically and in advance of the Kamloops Fire District. And so I think that we can bring that back up with current fire chief and see where we can go with that.
Perfect. Thank you. I did bring that, we brought that up with Brett a long time ago because we wanted that, we wanted to be ahead of the pack here and the conditions are different all the way through the Kamloops zone. So calling, if we feel it necessary, then I think we should call it. So maybe we should talk to Clayton about checking into that once more, please. Go ahead, Bianca.
Yeah, and included on our tax mail out is summer reminders, which include fire restrictions and being cognizant of the BC wildfire restrictions, where we're stating on there that we're currently in category 2 and 3 restrictions, and also water restrictions, which come into effect annually, are stage 1 on May 1st. So that's included on there.
Councillor Beach.
Yeah, I don't want to take it away from the fire because that's really important, but I wanted to just ask a question about letters going out around unsightly premise. Are we giving timelines for cleanup and setting some expectations for these people so that we can respond at it? We know that we can go back and
Yeah, Bianca, go ahead.
Yeah, so the letters really asked at first just to touch base with Dean as the direct contact. And then we've already had a few responses back from that. And Dean is requiring kind of a deadline of when anticipated cleanup is, and it has to be within a reasonable amount of time. So depending on the property and, the resources available to the person, trying to make that reasonable, but
Thank you. And I just want to reiterate, when cigarette butts, there was a fire out on Canby South Squaw a couple of weeks ago, and it was a cigarette butt that started it. So for those smokers, that's fine. You know what, you do you, but please carry a bottle of water with you so that you can put your butts in a bottle of water as opposed to on the ground. So, okay. Anything else? Okay. Nicole, do we have one?
The chair, one last one for the
Last one.
Curly should be on there as well.
Sorry, can I back this up? We're still on bylaw enforcement, correct? Sorry. And can you please update us on bylaw enforcement's hours right now? Because now we're going into a long weekend and we run into some parking issues, we run into some overnight parking, we run into all sorts of things. So what does bylaw look like going into the long weekend?
Hey, thank you. So through the chair, so the bylaw officers' hours have kicked in to full-time for summer, which is amazing. That just started beginning of May. And that goes into end of September. And then I think tonight, maybe Shauna could correct me, but we have the additional support from Salmon Arm Bylaw Services proposed for full 7-day-a-week coverage. So those are just kicking in now. The Salmon Arm Bylaw Services will start, I think we did it end of June this round to September long for theirs.
Okay, so another question, and then I'll get into Councilor Rich. So if I have a bylaw issue on a Saturday night where some guys double parked in some space, what number do I call?
Yeah, so the bylaw officer and Salmon Arm Bylaw Services share the bylaw cell phone number. So that's the number to call. Want it right now?
Could we have it right now?
Let me look it up.
Please.
Can I?
Okay, and Shauna's going to clarify hours.
Yeah, so specifically for the May long weekend, so Sierra's schedule was shifted so that she is working through the weekend. And so there will be coverage for the May long weekend. And then starting
From like 8 to 8 or 8 to 10 or what's that look like?
I want to say 10 to 7, 10 to is what, but off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I looked at her
Could you share it with us? Yeah,
I will,
thank you.
because there is bylaw coverage through the weekend, and then tonight coming at regular council meeting, we'll be appointing Salmon Arm Bylaw Services as bylaw officers for the season, and they'll start in June, and then we'll have 7-day-a-week coverage
Okay,
with some longer.
it's like June
days,
1st,
right?
kind of June 1st.
I think it's mid-June when we start them.
Okay. Councilor McCabe.
On bylaw topic too and enforcement, for long weekend or summer months, they checked our boat slips too, our public boat slips.
Yeah, through the chair, they do. Yeah, but we no longer have that contract with any of the towing for the boat slips. I guess it would have to be through, it sounds like our CAO has been enforcing that with the bylaw officer. If you recall that contract was removed.
Councilor Rich.
Yeah, through the chair has, have we talked to Murray and say, hey, bylaws coming on and what do you guys need? And then they collaborate because obviously we don't, like Murray's not bylaw, but a lot of people think RCMP are bylaw. And that would be great if they just had a quick conversation. So Murray knows who we have on, and then those folks are bylaw people. If they need backup, they also know kind of where our CMP is, and that they sit down and just go, okay, go team, we got it. Is that happening or not yet?
Thank you. Yeah, good question through the chair. So if it hasn't been done, it does between Sierra, the bylaw officer, and the RCMP. The hours are shared, and they also talk about common issues. If our bylaws are updated in the past year, those are provided to the RCMP, so they have recent copies. Couple other things to answer here. So you wanted the bylaw officer cell phone number, 250-833-6952. That's available on our website. And then I also want to mention about some of the hours. We know there's some events in town, like Canada Day, there was some ball tournaments. So the hours have been adjusted for the bylaw officer to cover those weekends here and there, and then have the additional support once Salmon Arm Bylaw Services starts.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, I think now we can move
Okay.
bylaw. Thank you.
It's important. Bylaw quarterly. So I think quite a bit has happened while I was away here on the development permit and development variance permit world. A few were approved or finalized throughout the last quarter. So of course, we know those multi-unit dwellings at Wet Up Street in Riverside. And then before I had left, 717 Capel Street was working on the housing agreement for their proposed development or additional units at 717 Capel Street. Last I heard, they had submitted an agreement, a covenant for review, and I know the CAO and the planner were working back and forth on that with them. Tonight, we have 509 to Bell Street coming. It's a DVP to recognize some existing buildings that have been constructed over the years, and that's going to facilitate a strata plan amendment. And something to note, not in this quarter, but we've also got a handful of other applications that have come in the last little bit. So we've been busy in that perspective. And then I know for our zoning application here, 222 Temple Street, sounds like the public hearing and third was passed at the last meeting, and then we should have adoption, not tonight, but at the next meeting. And then right before I left on leave, there were a handful of new subdivisions coming in. Some of them lot line adjustments, better use of the land, but then we have some new development proposed, and specifically at 1 Sycamoose Creek Frontage Road. There's a Bearland Strata subdivision proposed where that, I know everyone has talked about the concrete foundation at just south of Flockies Beach there. So that is a brand new subdivision that has come in, what we're super excited about. And then, yeah, like I mentioned, a few lot line adjustments on Main Street and around Holly Avenue. That's what's been keeping us busy in the first quarter.
Thank you. Any questions? Councillor Wilson.
Through the chair. Nicole, just on those lot line adjustments, is that similar to what's happened at White Pines? You know, maybe everybody expanded their decks and then the decks are limited common property and they were supposed to be updated for the strata plan. Is that kind of what these other old applications are?
Well, through the chair, so 509 to Bell Street is like that, where they want to fix what's existing for their building strata. And then going forward, everyone knows what they're purchasing, and it's all very clear on a brand new plan and not something from when it was first developed in, I think, the early 80s. But then these other ones like 221 and 301 Main Street, that's actually creating a new lot on Main Street and then jigging some of the lines to better give some land to this lot. And then this person has their own lot. And then for 509 and 515 Holly, if you might be aware, but there is a house that's encroaching onto a neighboring property. So they're fixing that encroachment with a proper lot line adjustment, which is great for everyone moving forward, rather than having access easements and encroachment permits for their home on someone else's lot. So those are those lot line adjustments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then one other just quick one on the 113 Wet Up in Riverside. I know it's a long weekend coming up and I know the owners don't live in town, but their fence is really falling down and it's really looking, you know, it could just, even if it was, I know they're probably going to tear it all down anyways, but if they could, it was on the sidewalk and now it's been moved off the sidewalk.
That was me.
By bylaw. Anyway, if they could, you know, just a phone call, a courtesy call, would be really nice for the long weekend, clean it up. Both the Riverside side and the Wet Up side, because it's all fallen over.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Good. Thanks for letting me know.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. We're going to go into Mayor and Council reports. Councillor Evans.
It was good to meet with Splatcheen Council and their council meeting. And other than that, a busy month of going to different conventions. I didn't get to Silga with you guys, but I took in half a day and saw their firefighter on demonstration up there. But I ended up not going on a big hike with some of you guys, which I'm glad I didn't go on.
Yeah.
It sounds like you went a lot and have your legs recovered. So that's it for me.
Councillor Rich.
Oh, so did Silga, which was fabulous, made some really good contacts, enjoyed it. Met with Splatcheen, which was great. We got the playground in and opened at the elementary school. Spent some time with Al Hyde's funeral and got to celebrate with the community. Over 300 people attended, and such a great human being to be part of our community. Attended some ball Jake put on a pretty good tournament, so that was fun. And I am now going to toot my own horn. So my daughter, Oriah Johnston, who was a student here in Sycamoose, volunteers with rural health, works here, etc., has been accepted into medical school at UBC. So I got a doctor.
I knew it. I knew she would. Good. Congratulations, Mama Bear.
Yep.
It's awesome. Counselor Bushel,
Back to follow.
are you going to school?
Yeah, too far.
And we're going to skip you.
Silga was great. Yeah, we went to the first tour was the community forest tour, which was really good. We went through the sawmill and saw the entire automation of the sawmill there. And then did a hike up the mountain, which was a long haul. Like it was a long ways up towards Micah. It was a long haul up there and a long. And it was amazing how they are working in the forest and actually not, clear cutting. They're actually looking at different trees and finding out how long one should be, when one should be harvested and when the next one should be left for how long. And it really opened it up. And then they could show how the forest has really bloomed when they did thin it out. So it was kind of really, really interesting. They were very, Kevin was amazingly smart. And then went to the Allenheim funeral, which was amazing to see the school open up and have that many people able to attend a function like of that size. And that was very great funeral and lots of good memories there. I met with the Shuswap backcountry riders, talking about different marketing ways to get the off season going. And we're meeting with Carly when she gets back from her she's on tour somewhere on some course. And then also met with some ALR highway commercial owners, and they want to discuss the OCP, and they're going to send a letter into council. And that's about it, I guess, for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Beach, Councilor McCabe, do you want to go next?
Sure.
Not too much to report. I attended Silga too also. Went to housing seminar, and that was interesting. It was a full house there. People standing up, and we're doing everything they were talking about, which is, you go there to try and learn get a little nugget out of it or something, but no, and their focus was mainly on infill, and we're doing everything they were talking about.
Cool. Thank you. Councilor Beach.
Thank you. So I did go to Silga as well. Not as much as I wished I had. I just had mornings, but it was really, really good. Made some old connections, reconnected with some old connections in interior health, which was nice. And yeah, just really interesting. Did the whole day tour in the forest. And that was wonderful. A good workout. Right, Gord? But very interesting and found that quite, really interesting to see, as Gord pointed out, how they bring these forests along now in blocks and for the animals, for the environment, it's just amazing. So it was really interesting. And was happy to have an opportunity to meet with the Minister of Health, Josie Osborne, and actually share our story, because she loved our center and came for a tour on Saturday after she was done, Saturday morning. I had a chance to share how that all came about, because I think she was pretty impressed. So anyways, it was a great weekend, and that was pretty much my news for now.
Thank you, Councilor Beach. Okay, so we just went through the Backyard Ultra, and that was once again a success. And what a great, they love the area. They love the location of the backyard. So yeah, and I can't remember the guys, the winner. It was like,
He did 152
it was
miles.
Insane. It was literally insane. They rest an hour, run an hour, rest an hour, run an hour all weekend. That is good for them. So I too attended Silga, and we also had as a group of councilors, we had a tour of the Mackenzie Village. We have the developer that's developed Mackenzie Village, looking at a piece of property here in Sycamore. So it was pretty exciting to see what he has and what he could bring or his product to our community. I met with Minister Neal, and she's Minister of Water and Lands at Silga. We discussed expired foreshore leases and proposed headwater lease. And we also discussed the channel side development, which is painstakingly slow. And every time there's a bit of an opening, there's another roadblock that's tossed in front of the developer. So that is an issue. So she has all of that information and I will be following up with her. She said that she will get back to me on expired foreshore leases and sitting with those. So time will tell on that, and I hope so. And I discussed our proposed headwater lease, and we're a unique community, and us having headwater lease and working with the province could probably be some heavy lifting that we could take off the province and put onto our community, and working with the province as opposed to the province downloading on us, it might just be a little bit smoother of a process. So we are discussing that as well. So I highlighted that with her. Also at Silga, I did, Minister Neal did her presentation, and then there was time for some questions, and I did ask if the province could please collaborate with the federal government and get some more stops and checks for invasive species. And it was funny because it wasn't brought up the entire weekend yet, but it did get an amazing applause. And it's not our problem, it's BC's problem. And all of those communities in that room felt the same way. And I think that sent a very strong message to the minister as far as the stance. And I mean, we can talk about ecosystems, and we can talk about fish, and we can talk about habitat all we want, but we have mussels and no one's going to care because it's going to be a moot point. We took 4 resolutions to Silga. 2 are going to UBCM, 2 are going to the back of the book. So the 2 that did pass was the timelines to get permitting and foreshore leases approved, and that one's moving forward. Gord's was moving forward. Yours was the ATVs. ORVs, and that's moving forward. Ian had transparency, which I'm surprised went to the back of the book. Ian presented on transparency of this government, the complications with DRIPA and understanding what that means to British Columbians and property owners, and that unfortunately didn't move forward to UBCM. So that was interesting that didn't, because it's on every municipality's table right now, and it's a conversation every municipality is having. So we're not sure what happened there. And then Siobhan had backcountry closures, and that went to the back of the book as well, which is disheartening. But my understanding is we can bring some of those forward. If the room, 3/4 of the room votes to move it back forward, then we can have that discussion again. So I think there are some ways to bring those back, because I think they're really important, and all of them were really important. So, and it was interesting, all of the resolutions, and I think there was, 38 or 40 of them. I think they all passed. So what's really interesting about that is when you have that many resolutions in a room that big with all of the southern interior municipalities and representatives sitting together, they're all passing, which means that all of us are experiencing and feeling the same pain. So a message has to be being sent, because it's interesting. There's no one would get up and reject anything or disagree. So I'm glad that those things are moving forward. We had council to council spot scene, which we haven't had with this new council until now. Discussions were a bit about the gardens, and the traditional healing space and what that's going to look like, and the contract that's needed for that. So, and art in the foyer. So we had that discussion as well. And our protocol agreement, which we will both be working on and coming together to discuss. I also was worked to get Josie Minister and Pam joined us, and Bianca did a brilliant job, and Shauna and Minister Osborne came to the health center with Minister Anderson again and Minister Morse, sorry, what's
Anderson and then Minister Morissette.
Morissette?
Or Pete, he's.
Yeah, Steve.
Elementary.
Anyway, so end of the day, we had a great meeting with them and toured the healthcare center, and as well asking them for some funding because we would like to finish off that healthcare center and perhaps move some other things in there.
Did you talk about blood collection?
Yes, that was the main goal. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes, and yeah. So that went well, and just on a final note, it's an election year, so if anyone out there is interested in municipal governance, please feel free to speak to any of us or or anyone in the district, because as we move forward, it's that time of year, and our job in governance it's really, this position I find is really important, more so now than ever. Is a process because our fight is real with municipalities right now. And to challenge the province for protecting our municipality and getting the best for our community that we can. So municipalities are key to a voice. And once all of our voices are together, we can send more messages that way. And if people aren't interested in municipal politics, and there's also space on ECDEV. If you're interested in ECDEV or tourism, other recreation community or committees, planning and development, seniors, housing, ferry society, there's a space for everyone that's interested to get involved and be part of the community and the growth of the community. So I just wanted to share that because it is an election year and it's that time to start thinking about those things. Okay, do we have anyone online?
Deb.
Deb? Okay, we'll go into community input. Deb, go ahead.
Just a couple things quick. One, we, since the last council meeting or before, we had the community cleanup and it went very well. Big thank you to Gord and Daryl and all the volunteers, especially those fabulous 4-H girls. We got lots done and lots of positive feedback. What I really wanted to give you guys an update on though is May 22nd is our first farmers market. So that's in just over a week, and we are up to 50 vendors. What that means is I've checked online and Salmon Arm has about 40 vendors. So just want you guys to realize it's been a lot of work, but the important part now is that we've really got to get the people out if we want to keep those vendors there. So we've got lots of farmers, we've got lots of everything. We've got a really good cross section. It's a really good market, and we got to find a way to make sure the community's out there supporting it.
Perfect. Thank you, Deb. That's great. Great news. Anyone else? Anyone online?
Anybody else online?
Okay, well, let's adjourn this committee of the whole meeting at 2:08.
Did we say hi to?
Can I get a mover? Councilor Rich, Councilor Bushell, all in favor, and we are done.